Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm gonna clean the intellevision. This was my grandparents. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. Like, years ago, when my grandfather had the house, and he's kept a bunch of stuff, and I always thought they were like kind of like a hoarder, but they didn't. I mean, they threw out some junk and things, but a lot of stuff they kept like this, and ended up in my dad's house when my dad bought it. So, man, this is gross. So, my dad bought the house off of them, and I lived there for a while. I actually lived there when my grandparents were there. I was moved in my senior year of high school. So seeing all this stuff in the basement, and you know, I always thought it was always junk. So one day, basement floods, the sewage water just backs in, and it was gross. I was sick of the house being nasty, and insurance actually paid for a company to come in, clean out the basement. We got to take everything out, you know, personal property. We kind of got put outside, this kind of stuff. There was a couple of Ataris, all the games, and I remember just throwing all the games away. For the Atari, for this most likely, I don't know if there's any left. They had a bunch of the games. My grandparents played the games up into their 70s or 80s. I don't remember how they were when they died, but they were always fans of video games. My grandmother liked the Final Fantasy series and those kind of role-playing games. But to me, at the time when I was throwing it out, I mean, they were some collectibles, I guess, and I threw it all away. You know, the house was nasty. My dad couldn't take care of it. Yeah, this was after his stroke. And he didn't use it. He didn't really want it. It was just there. And cleaned up the whole house. The whole house was freaking clean. They power washed the basement, aired it out, and it all just went to hell again. So, kind of frustrating. But you know, what can you do when people aren't willing to change bad habits? So here I am, wishing I had all the games back. But I don't know, maybe it was good. Teach me a lesson not to be a hoarder. That's what I really was wanting to do, you know, eliminate the junk and trash. there's no reason to have stuff like this sitting around collecting dirt and collecting roach crap when you can't even keep them out of the house. They're probably all inside of this thing. Luckily, it's not as bad as some of the other stuff that I've had to clean. I think by the time the roaches got real terrible, this was outside in the barn. I know it sat in the top shelf in the living room closet for 30 years of my life. I think when my sister moved in and trying to buy my dad's house, she put a lot of stuff up. But she put all the wrong, oh, I guess in a way, she couldn't throw her own shit away. She threw my fucking BB gun away. That pisses me off. It was my dad's. My dad's BB gun when he was a kid. He gave it to me. And she says she threw it away. Fucking bullshit. That really pissed me off. She had a pile of shit in the basement. Like, piles and piles and piles of fucking clothes everywhere. Dog shit. You couldn't walk into the basement without stepping on fucking clothes. And then all of a sudden, you know, she's throwing everything else away. But let's these nasty ass rotten clothes in the basement being all soaking wet with dog shit all over them, roach shit all over them. She throws a fucking BB gun away. I guess I should have kept it with me, but when I moved out, the roaches were starting to show up. I don't know why. And I moved out because I was I was living there with my dad, my uncle. I don't know which one of my sisters were there. For some reason, I don't remember a lot of stuff anymore, but I was sick of living in that house. I had to get out. It's what partially what started my depression. And then the finances. So okay. But yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah, if you guys can tell, I get pissed off easy anymore. But I should actually take this apart. I think, like, looking in here, you could see a cord in there. You know, it looked like some roach shit on it, but it's hard to say because everything else inside from the other lures looks clean, but I don't know, just keep it like this. These corners don't want to get clean. But yeah, I'm pissed off about the whole thing. It's frustrating. But talking to my uncles, my aunt, they my dad was bad before his stroke, and then the stroke just made it worse. Moral of the story is, don't be lazy. Because if you have a stroke, it just makes it worse. Yeah, that's all I'm doing. I can set it up on a shelf with my dad's camera shit. I'm in a bad mood today, guys. Sorry about all the cussing. And the only game that survived apparently is this math game that I can find. That's inside. But this one was kept in the box. And there's the panel. I'll glue that on one of these days. Or throw them out. My dad bought this one himself. I don't know when he got it. But yeah, there goes that. That's breaking apart. And my sister said the Atari, one of the Ataris is still down there. But I remember throwing all the games away. I never thought I would want them. Never thought. So. The box kept this one fairly clean. Fuck it, all right. Math fun. All right. That's that.